Healthy living with Intermountain Healthcare.
Over 2,000 babies die in their sleep each year, and although it's not possible to always prevent SIDS, we are here with Dr. Heather Alden, who is a family medicine specialist at Alta View Hospital, who's going to be giving us some tips for creating a safe sleep environment for our infant. Thank you for being here, Heather.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's start with the first tip that you bring up as a safe suggestion for the kids, which is back sleeping. So I feel like when we were kids, we were put on our stomachs to sleep when we were babies, but now they've switched it to back sleeping. Why is that?
So it's interesting because my grandparents, they're always like, oh, put the baby on their stomach. And it's these things where I don't think there was any evidence for it. And so I think over time they saw there was a lot of SIDS happening. They tried to look at the risk factors, and for some reason putting on their back to sleep just seemed to prevent it. Maybe it's just from not being able to breathe or getting stuck in the sheeting or blankets or what have you, but it's really dramatically seen a decrease in SIDS just from doing that one thing.
Well, and it's easy to remember. They tell you when you're leaving the hospital, back to sleep, back to sleep.
Yes.
So that's the tip that I was always trying to remember.
There's been a huge campaign for that, so that's really helped.
Well, another thing that you're recommending that people do is sharing a room, okay? Not a bed, but a room for the first year. So what do you say to new parents that are saying, but my baby sleeps better if they're in the bed next to me? I don't know if it's easier to feed them in the night or they like to be able to hear the baby when the baby's fussing.
Right.
What do you say to those parents?
Yeah, so it's kind of been a new thing too. The American Academy of Pediatrics just came out and said that actually having them in the same room reduces SIDS by 50%. Which is huge.
Wow.
Yeah, even definitely in the first 6 months, but if you can in the first year, that would be really great too. Just because you're there, you're able to attend to baby, and you know, some people have those like side sleepers and stuff. They haven't done a lot of research on those, but I think anything's better than having them in the bed, smothered with pillows and blankets. That's really the key, is keeping them on a good firm surface with no extra things that can cause suffocation.
Well, and this brings us into our next topic. Lots of times you'll have a baby who likes to sleep in a swing, falls asleep in the swing, in the car seat, in different areas. And I would always say, let a sleeping baby lie. Don't wake them up. But that's actually not what you recommend. Why is that?
Yeah, just because they have shown cases of even infants getting SIDS in other areas besides their bed. And it's just because they're not flat, they're kind of smothered. It's really not a safe sleeping surface. So anytime you see them fall asleep, I know it's really tempting to leave them be, but it's just better to transfer them to the crib or the bassinet. Hopefully they'll go back to sleep and then just leave them alone. It's much safer that way. I mean, obviously if they fall asleep in the car seat, there's not much you can do about it, but at least you're there with eyes on baby.
Right. Well, another time that you aren't with your baby is when they are in their crib. So what you need to do to keep them safe is make sure it's a clear area.
Yes.
So many moms probably want their baby to be comfy and put a little pillow or a little stuffed animal or a little lovey in there.
Right.
Why is having a clear area so important?
It's super tempting, and my little one's 10 months old, and he has his favorite blankie too, so it's hard. It's really tempting to kind of let that be in there, but you know, the key is the first 3 to 4 months. That's really the high risk phase, and that's because they can't roll over yet, and so if there's anything in the crib, they can, you know, kind of get smothered by it or tangled up in it. So it's just better to swaddle them, and then once they can start to roll over, you can kind of just do a loose blanket or like one of those sleep sacks. Those are really helpful too. And then the crib bumpers, they really don't recommend those, or extra pillows. It's okay, you can decorate your crib, and then when they're sleeping, you can take everything out.
I love it. I know, just for the pictures, put it in, but then take it out. The last thing we're going to talk about is a pacifier. I've tried so hard to get my kids to take pacifiers, but they don't take them. But pacifiers actually have been proven to reduce the risk of SIDS. Why is that?
Exactly. And it just because they've shown that breastfeeding also reduces SIDS, and I think it's that key of just keeping the baby kind of busy and kind of breathing. And if the pacifier, you know, stays in the baby's mouth when they're sleeping, that's great. If it falls out, you don't have to replace it. But they have shown that it reduces SIDS. And, you know, with all these things, we still don't really know 100% what causes SIDS, but we have shown that certain risk factors and certain things that seem to help prevent it. So that's all we can recommend.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Alden. So important to do everything you can to keep your babies safe. For more information, be sure to visit their website. You can also visit our website. So if you want to visit intermountainhealthcare.org, be sure to do so. Thank you so much, Dr. Alden,
Thanks for having
being
me.
here.